So good morning everybody, good morning to all of you. So in this class we will be talking about this numericals, that whatever topic we have learned from Bohr theory, from those sections we will be discussing those numericals, and along with that I will be giving you some previous year question papers like based upon the topics that we have completed already. Okay, so now first question that I am going to give you is this is the numerical one. So if you look at this numerical, so it is saying calculate the radius of the first Bohr orbit. You know, first Bohr orbit means n equals to 1. N equals to 1. Then velocity. Velocity means v1. For first Bohr orbit, velocity v1. So you have to calculate r1, then v1, then the energy of the electrons of helium. So energy for which orbit? First orbit. And the system, your system will be helium plus system. That means your system has z equals to 2, not z equals to 1. So then in the ground state in both CGS and SI unit. So you have to get your value in CGS and SI unit. So there are two methods. There are two methods to solve this problem. One method is write Rn equation, En equation, Vn equation, all these three in CGS unit, and also write all these three in SI unit, and then do calculate their values. And that is very time consuming process, but because in your examination you won't have that amount of time. Because, and another thing, if you take a lot of time to solve one question, then you would get like tense that okay, how many times I would require to solve all the numericals. So we have to go through like very small short methods, but those methods should be accurate, not like shortcut methods. I don't use shortcut methods. I use smart methods, smart shortcut methods, not only shortcut methods. Okay, so first of all, let's calculate the first Bohr orbit for helium plus ion. So remember, for helium plus ion, it is one electronic system. That means Bohr theory is applicable. But here Z value is not equal to 1. Z value equals to 2. Got it? So now let's solve this problem. How can I solve that? First Bohr orbit calculation. First Bohr orbit. Great. Now if you want to calculate the first Bohr orbit, I told you one formula and based upon that formula I told you that you can calculate any radius of any system or any one electronic system. Okay, any radius for any one electronic system's radius you can calculate based upon one in general formula. Now first of all, let me show you that formula. Yes, so this is the formula that I told you. So Rn for any one electronic system, you can use these formulas, right? You can use these formulas simply. Rn equals to n square divided by z, R1h, this. So let me use this part only. Rn equals to n square divided by z, 0.53 Armstrong. So let me write the formula first. Rn equals to n square divided by z multiplied by 0.53 Armstrong. But they told you to calculate value in CGS and SI unit. So how would I do that? So you have to remember this expression, this relation. Okay, so 1 Armstrong is equal to 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter. You just need to remember this expression. And if it is 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter, definitely it will become 10 to the power minus 10 meter. 1 Armstrong equals to this centimeter, 1 Armstrong equals to this meter. Now what I am doing, I am putting the value. So it is first Bohr orbit. That means n equals to 1. So it will be my R1. Great. N square, 1 square divided by Z value is what? For helium plus Z value will be 2, number of proton will be 2, multiplied by 0.53 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 8. I am doing it centimeter, I mean CGS. Got it? Look at this, it's not very complicated for equation, it's very simple. And from here I can easily calculate that 0.53 divided by 2 into 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter. So if I do further calculation, I will be getting I am dividing this by 2. So I will be getting 0.265 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter. It's quite easy. So this is the value of radius in CGS unit. It's quite easier, right? Please tell me, did you understand this? If you understood this, write U in the comment box. And once we get the value in CGS unit, it's very easy to get the value in SI unit. How can I do that? It is in centimeter. In SI unit, what is the length of the what is the unit of the length? It's meter. So convert centimeter to meter. How can I do that? Divide this by what? By 10 to the power 2 or 100. So if I divide this value, so 0.265 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 8 divided by 10 to the power 2 meter, and you will be easily getting the value 0.265 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 10 meter. So this is the value in SI unit. So that's all. That's quite easier method. And if you wanted to use other methods, you can do that. So let me show you what other method you can do. What other method you can use to solve this numerical. Just wait 1 second. Yes. So you could use this Rn expression for CGS. Rn expression. Then put n value, h value, this value, this value, this value, this value. But that is meaningless. That is just wastage of time. Yes. You can also use Rn value for SI system. Then you will be getting value in meter. So you will be getting value sometimes in meter. You will be getting sometimes value in centimeter. So for that you have to do this calculation or this calculation. But you know this is very time consuming process. So you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't use it. So what we will be doing, we won't use these kinds of equation. We will be using shortcut methods. Shortcut means smart shortcut methods that we already generated. And even in your examination, you have to use this. And I will be showing you after some time in that one previous year question paper came based upon this shortcut method. I will be showing you that one. Okay. Now come back. Now we have calculated the radius. So this is done. This calculation is done. Radius calculation is done. Now coming to the velocity. How could you calculate velocity? It's very simple. Second, velocity of first Bohr orbit. Okay, that means V1. So first of all, how would you get Vn expression? Okay, if you forget Vn expression, then I am giving you a very small shortcut. You know from Bohr's postulate, mv n Rn equals to nh divided by 2 pi. From here you can easily get Vn value. It's equals to m nh divided by 2 pi m Rn. Therefore here in this case we want to calculate V1. It will become what? H, because n value will be what? N value will be 1. So it will become h divided by 2 pi m R1. So now you know the value of h, you know the value of 2 pi, you know the value of m. You easily know all these values. Just you need to put the value of R1. So if you want to get your value in CGS unit, put the value of R1 in CGS unit. If you want to get the value in SI unit, put the value of R1 in SI unit along with all other values. Yes, along with all other values. Just put this. So this problem I will be solving right now. Okay. So first of all, let me solve this in CGS unit. Therefore V1 equals to what? H. What is the value of H in case of CGS unit? It is 6.626 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 27 arc second. So here remember one thing. Do not ignore the units. Don't ignore the units. Please do not ignore the units. You have to learn that how to play with units. Don't ignore the units. Okay. Then here it is 2 pi m R1. 2 pi multiplied by m. M means mass of electron. What is that? 9.11 into 10 to the power minus 28 gram. I am taking in CGS. And finally it is R1. So what is the value of R1 in CGS? R1 value in CGS is 0.265 10 to the power minus 8. 0.265 into 10 to the power minus 8. So I have put all the values and the unit is centimeter. Okay. I have put all the values. Now I have to do what? I have to do just multiplication. So guys, now this is your responsibility. Just tell me that what value you will be getting by multiplying these one, or by multiplication and division of these one, these one, these one and these one. Don't touch the unit. I will be playing with unit. Okay, just use this one, this part and this part. Do the calculation on your calculator. Calculate this value on your calculator, then tell me the answer what you are getting, because I don't have calculator for the at this moment. And whatever method I am using to solve numericals, please try to do in this way, so that you don't do any mistake. So these are the values only. So calculate all these values. Then I am writing unit. So arc second, gram, centimeter. So use your calculator and tell me what value you are getting from here. What value you are getting from here? Please tell. Tell me what value you are getting from here. If you can't do that, please tell me. I can't do that. Otherwise, do it and tell me. But don't waste time. Okay. Vikram Selvam, tell me. Because I don't need to like get the value only. I have to take care of my unit as well. That's why I am not ignoring my unit. I have to. Okay. Okay. Great. So you are getting what? 0.437 into 10 to the power 9. Okay, 10 to the power 9. Okay, great. So is that correct? Okay, I will be telling you whether it's correct or not. So Bikram is getting this value, and simply just he put that value and got this one, I hope. Now from here I need to get, okay, it is velocity. So what is the unit of velocity in CGS? In CGS the velocity unit will be centimeter per second. In SI it will be meter per second. So here I am not getting the value of velocity, unit of velocity, centimeter per second. So what would I do? I know that arg means what? You look a focus over here. It is about ESU. I will be coming into that as well. What do you mean by arg? Arg means gram centimeter square second to the power minus 2. Remember this expression. Arg means gram centimeter square second to the power minus 2. Okay. So let me put gram centimeter square second to the power minus 2. Then again second. Then gram and semi. So now look at this. Gram will get cut. Centimeter and centimeter square will get cut. This will get cut, and I will be getting -1. Therefore your answer will be 0.437 multiplied by 10 to the power 9 centimeter per second. Got it? So please remember this expression, that what do you mean by this arg? Arg means this one. Just put this value, you will be getting your unit as well. So along with the value, you have to take care of your unit as well. Fine. So that's all about the CGS unit calculation. So once you get your CGS value, you can easily get your SI value. Yes, it's quite easy. So CGS is this value is in CGS. So can you write in the comment box what will be the value? By looking at this value, what will be the value in meter per second? Can you write in the comment box? Yes, this answer is 100% correct. Okay. So he is saying what will be the value in SI unit? It's quite easy. 0.437 multiplied by 10 to the power 7 meter per second. Yes, good job. So you just need to do what? You just need to divide this thing by 10 to the power 2. That's all. Then you'll be getting your value in meter. Very good, Bikram. In this way, you can solve a numerical in both CGS and SI unit. Even sometimes, if they are asking your answer in SI unit, just do one thing. Calculate your value in CGS unit. If you are comfortable with CGS unit, and then convert it to meter per second. And if you can't do that, just calculate directly value in the SI unit. I hope that you can do. But do not do mistake. If you are getting confused anywhere, just follow simplest method. First get the value in CGS unit, then get the value in SI unit. Okay, that's all. Next, this is done. Velocity is done. Number 3, it is done. Number 3 is the energy of the electrons for helium plus ion. So the energy of the electron means you have to calculate now the energy of the system. You have to calculate the energy. How would you calculate that? Now let's come back. Number 3, energy. So to calculate energy, we will be using that smart shortcut method. How can I do that? It's quite easier. Just come back, just let me show you. Then I am just giving you the formula. Okay. So did you remember this formula? En equals to this expression in electron volt. So I told you how to convert the value of electron volt into joule or into arc. You know this? You easily know this. Where I shown you, look at this, I shown you 1 electron volt means this amount of joule, this amount of arc. So by using, we don't want to use this expression. We don't want to use this expression for SI or this expression for CGS. We don't want to use. Why we don't want to use? Because I have to put a lot of values and those are very tough. Because I already know that this part is constant and this part gives me a fixed value. That value is this 13.6 electron volt. Yes, I know this. So why would I calculate those part again and again and again? I just need to vary these two variables. If it is my E1, N will be 1, and based upon the atom or ion, I have to put the Z value. So in this case, let me copy this equation. This equation is the basic equation and more general equation. But here the thing is, they are asking me to calculate the value in CGS and SI unit. But this energy value will be coming as electron volt. Okay, so let it stay in electron volt. Once we get the energy value, then we will be converting this electron volt value to joule or arc. That means in CGS or in SI. How? So first of all, En. So if you look at the system, so I have to calculate for N equals to 1 and Z equals to 2, because it is my helium plus ion and it is my N equals to 1. Okay, so what will be the value of En? E1. So E1 will be equals to minus Z value is 2 square, N value is 1 square, multiplied by 13.6 electron volt per, as we are discussing with helium plus ion, so it will become ion. Great. So now if I do calculation, I will be getting 4 multiplied by 13.6 electron volt per ion. Yeah, and from here, if I want to calculate this value in joule, you know what happens? 1 electron volt means what? 1 electron volt means, let me write, 1 electron volt means how many joule? You know this? 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule per ion. So can you calculate this value and tell me what is the value that you are getting from here? Okay, so I am getting the answer 87.14 into 10 to the power minus 19, 87.14 into 10 to the power minus 19. Okay, joule per ion. Vikram, very good. So this is value in joule, right? That means in SI. So how can you convert this joule value in CGS? So remember the expression, 1 joule, you know this already, equals to 10 to the power 7 arc. So can you tell me in the comment box, how would you convert this joule value into arc? Because arc is your CGS unit, joule is your SI unit. So you have got your expression in SI unit now for the first time. How would you convert this value into CGS? Can you tell me? Okay, yeah, thank you so much. I have to take care of the sign. Good job. I have to take care of the sign as well. Okay, yeah. So if you convert this value, you will be getting minus 87.14 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 12 arc per ion in Celsius unit. Yes. So in this way, you can calculate your energy as well. You don't need to use the full expression. You don't need to use. Just use the smart expression that I have derived. So please tell me, is that clear? Is that clear? If it is clear, write C in the comment box. So now we have calculated our this first Bohr orbit, velocity and the energy of the electrons. We have calculated all these things. Yeah. Now let's move to the next question, next numerical number 2. So if you look at this numerical, here it is asking that calculate the third ionization potential of lithium atom. So here I am talking about lithium atom. So you may get confused. Lithium atom means what? 3 electrons are there in lithium atom. But if I want to use Bohr theory, I have to have 1 electron. But don't forget that here it is called third ionization potential. What does that mean? It means suppose you have lithium, it is releasing 1 electron from its gaseous state and giving you lithium plus. For that, whatever energy you are incorporating, that is called first ionization potential, IE1. And then from lithium plus you are sending another electron to infinity, and that is about second ionization potential to make lithium 2 plus, IE2. And from now from lithium 2 plus, whenever you are sending another electron to infinity, you have to add this ionization energy 3 to make lithium 3 plus. And here we are talking about only this. Okay, we are talking about this third ionization potential. First ionization potential, second, third ionization potential. That means in these reaction, look at this. What about this lithium 2 plus system? This lithium 2 plus is nothing but 1 electron system. That means yes, I can apply the Bohr theory for lithium 2 plus system. And this 1 electron system is releasing 1 electron to infinity, sending 1 electron to infinity by absorbing some amount of energy, and that energy is called ionization energy 3. And these you have to calculate. This value you have to calculate. So what you are doing? You are incorporating some amount of energy to send the electron from here to the infinity. That means your ionization energy will become always positive. You know this. Your ionization energy will become always positive. Whenever you add energy, that is becoming positive. Whenever like your system is releasing energy, that becomes negative. You will be learning all these things in future as well, okay, in thermodynamics chapter and any other chapters. But for the time being, let me show you which formula we should use. Which formula we should use for this? Just let me show you. Look at this. Ionization potential or ionization energy. So the formula is this. I have derived already. And more generally, your exact formula will be this. Like this. Okay, this formula. So for this is general formula, and no, you know that this is nothing but the 13.6 electron volt. And here I have already put this Ni value equals to 1, Nf value infinity, because Nf will be always infinity, because you have to send your electron to infinity to get your ionization energy. And from where you are sending from N equals to 1. You are sending from here, because it is a hydrogen like system, 1 electron system, so electron will be only in the first orbit. That's why you are sending from 1. So if you are sending from 1, that means you are putting 1 and it is becoming 0. So overall you are getting this value only. And from this value, you know, this value has a value e to the power 4 m, this value. This is value as 13.6 electron volt. You have already calculated this value. So only z square is variable. So if only z square is variable, so I have already shown you in the class that for lithium 2 plus z equals to 3, this 2, this z equals to 4. So I will be using only these equations. So this equation is true only for any 1 electron system only. Yes, lithium 2 plus is my 1 electron system. So I can put z square value multiplied by 13.6 electron volt. Yes, it's easy, right? Very simple expression. And if you are sending you are sending your electron other than n equals to 1, from other than n equals to 1. So just don't make it like don't make it vanish. Just do one thing, instead of n equals to 1, just put other value. But here whenever we are applying Bohr theory, these value should be 1, these value should be in infinity. You can't change that value. Okay, so I will be using simply this expression. Let me copy it. So this expression, ionization potential for any one electronic system will be this. That would be the correct expression. And from this expression, I can easily calculate the IP value for lithium 2+ system, that is one electronic system. That will be equals to Z square. So for lithium, Z equals to what? 3. So 3 square multiplied by 13.6 electron volt. So you can ask me why this value is not negative? Because you are adding energy. The system is not releasing energy. Okay. Here you are adding energy to the system, and that is why your value is positive, not negative. Your energy value is positive, and this energy is what? Ionization energy or ionization potential. So just do multiply. 9 multiplied by 13.6 electron volt. Okay, got it? So can you do the multiplication and tell me in the comment box? 122.4 electron volt. So can you calculate the value in joule, just for practice? Can you calculate the value in joule? Yes, it's correct. It's very easy. So multiply with 10 to the 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule. Yes. And if you want to calculate this value in arc, how can you do that? 122.4 multiplied by 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 12 arc. So in this way you can calculate your value in electron volt, in joule, in arc. And these 3 units are very, very important. So can you tell me, is everything clear? If you have any small topics, any small confusion regarding electron volt, joule or arc, you can just ask me, or just write whether it is clear or not. Is that clear? Is that clear? It's very simple problem. Then I am moving to the next problem. Okay, very good. Next problem. Now look at this. The wavelength of the first member, that is H alpha, of Balmer series of hydrogen atom is this. Wavelength is given. Calculate the wavelength of its second member, that is H beta. So second member means, look at this. First of all, in this question they are talking about Balmer series. So, and they are talking about H alpha and H beta. So H alpha for Balmer, H beta for Balmer. So can you tell me, so if I talk about Balmer series, what about alpha and what about beta? Can you tell me, like, when would we get alpha line, when would we get beta line? For which transition? For which transition I will be getting alpha line, for which transition I will be getting beta line? Just write in the comment box. For Balmer series. Okay, alpha means 3 to 2. Very good, Vikram. Yes. So that is your nucleus. It is n equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first of all, Lyman series. You know the formula L, B, P, B, P, H. So second one is your Balmer. It is first one, it is third one, fourth, fifth, sixth. These are the expressions, and all these are your destination of electron. So for Balmer series, destination of the electron is actually 2. That means if electron jumps from higher 3 to 2, it will be alpha. 4 to 2, it will be beta. That means in case of Balmer series, your electron should jump to the n equals to 2. So is that clear? Selvam, you didn't comment. Is that clear? So for alpha means 3 to 2, beta means 4 to 2. So they have already told you that for alpha, the lambda value is given, that is about lambda alpha equals to 6563 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 10 meter. And they are asking you to calculate lambda beta. Okay, you just need to calculate that. So the problem is, okay, for this transition they have given you the corresponding wavelength value. For this transition they wants you to calculate the lambda beta value. How would you calculate that? And this is true for hydrogen atom. So hydrogen atom means what? Hydrogen atom, that means Z equals to 1. So whenever you are solving any kinds of numericals, just remember one thing: whatever informations are given in the question, just write those information first. Whatever informations you are given, if you are not writing, that means maybe you are missing something from the question. So that's why I have written everything. First member means H alpha, I have written all this information. Second member means H beta, I have written all the informations. Got it? Now how to solve this problem? So to solve this problem, we have to use another expression. Do you know which one? This one. Let me show you. This one. This expression we will be using. Simple. Like this delta expression and finally this one. So 1 by lambda or nu bar is equal to which has the value in centimeter inverse or meter inverse, because it is my wave number, right? This value multiplied by z square into this. So ni means what? Ni will be 2 everywhere in case of Balmer series. Nf will be, for alpha line it will be 3, for beta line it will be 4. Yes, because from 3 to 2, 4 to 2, higher to lower. So I told you higher will be Nf, lower will be Ni, right? Now this term is called Rydberg constant. I told you that is R. So I am writing this expression directly by putting R over here, because Rydberg constant, it's just a constant for every system. It won't change. It's just a constant. So basic expression is what? So nu bar equals to 1 by lambda. I am writing in general expression. That means R z square multiplied by 1 by ni square minus 1 by nf square. Got my point? In this way we can solve different numericals. Okay, that is the basic expression. So I will be applying this expression for beta, this expression for alpha line of Balmer series. That means only these two values will vary. R is constant, Z is constant, because for hydrogen atom Z is 1 for both of these cases. So now what I am doing, I am writing that nu bar alpha and nu bar beta expression. Nu bar alpha means what? 1 by lambda alpha, 1 by lambda beta. So it will become what? RZ square. RZ square means 1, but I am 1 square, and here it is 1 by ni square. Ni means for Balmer it is ni equals to 2. Alpha line it is 3. Okay, great. Again R 1 square, 1 by 2 square minus 1 by 4 square. Okay, so this is for alpha, this is for beta. Now I have got these two expression number 1 and expression number 2. Now from here, if I divide expression number 1 by expression number 2, if I divide this, what I will be getting? I will be getting that nu bar alpha divided by nu bar beta equals to 1 by lambda alpha by 1 by lambda beta equals to, now put all these values, R into 1 square into 1 by 2 square minus 1 by 3 square, R into 1 square 1 by 2 square minus 1 by 4 square. This one I am just doing every steps. Now if we rearrange this part, so first of all what will happen? These will get cut, this will get cut. Okay, then from here I am writing 1 by lambda alpha multiplies by lambda beta by 1. I can write in this way from this section, and from here it is becoming this. So let me do the LCM first. It's about 1 by 4 minus 1 by 4 minus 1 by 9 and 1 by 4 minus 1 by 25. Okay, so from here I have to calculate lambda beta. It will be what? Lambda beta equals to lambda alpha, then it is like 36 9 minus 4, and it is like 125 minus 4. Okay, so from here I have to calculate lambda beta. Lambda alpha value I know already, it is given. What is that? 6563 10 to the power minus 10 meter. 6563 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Don't ignore the unit. Again I am telling you, do not ignore the unit. Multiplied by 9 minus 4 means what? It means 5 divided by 36, and it means 21 divided by 100. Simple. Now can you tell me what value you will be getting if you do this calculation? Just do calculate on your calculator and tell me what value you are getting if you do this calculation. So it's about 6563 multiplied by 5 into 100 divided by 36 into 21. That's the expression, right? And then 10 to the power minus 10 meter. So now if I do the calculation, give me 30 seconds so that I can calculate. So yes, it's about okay, 6563 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 100 divided by 36 divided by 21. So I am getting 4340. I am getting another value, that's about 4340 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Okay, please be careful. 4340 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Okay, so these one should be like very first. Suppose it is like another answer is 443, instead of 43 you are getting 4410. It's better, nothing to wrong in this, but you have to have these value correct. 10 to the power minus 10 you should have. Okay, so you are getting this value in meter. So now if I tell you, can you convert this value in meter to nanometer? Can you write, okay, I have given you this value in meter, so can you convert this value in meter to nanometer? Something nanometer. Can you tell me the value? What will be the value in nanometer? 30 seconds. I am giving you 30 seconds. From this meter value to nanometer value. Can you tell me the value in nanometer? No. Your value will be like the relation between meter and nanometer. So guys, listen. 1 nanometer equals to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. That is the important relation that you need to know. Why is that? So you look at this. It is nano. Nano means 9. Nanometer, 9 meter. So that's why 10 to the power minus 9 meter equals to 1 nanometer. So in this way you can remember this relation. 1 nanometer equals to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. So if it is 10 to the power minus 10, so if you want to make 10 to the power minus 9, so you have to do multiplication by 10, and there you have to do division by 10. So it will become 434 nanometer. So if you understood this problem, write you in the comment box. It's very simple problem. So please, whatever mistakes you are doing, please don't do these mistakes in your examination. So this live session is for that so that you don't do mistakes in your examinations. Okay, yeah. Moving to the next question. So look at this problem. I am giving you like calculate the wavelength for alpha and beta lines for Lyman series. Okay, for helium plus ion. If Rydberg constant is this, so it is, I am saying that for helium plus ion, that means Z will be equals to 2. That's all. And Lyman series alpha line. So alpha line, beta line for Lyman series. So can anybody tell me what will be the transition for alpha line, what will be the transition for beta line? Can anybody tell me what will be the transition for alpha, what will be the transition for beta for Lyman series? Because one more thing, if you didn't understand the previous lectures, this lecture is going to be very tough for you. But if you understood clearly the previous lectures, this lecture is going to be very easier for you. That's why some of you can answer, some of you can't answer. Okay, alpha and beta, what will be the transition? Okay, so for alpha 2 to 1, for beta 3 to 1. Very good, Vikram. Alpha will be alpha line, like 2 to 1. I mean, NF will be 2, NI equals to 1. NF equals to 3, NI equals to 1. These are the transitions for alpha and beta line. Alpha, beta. Yes, Selvam, good job. Yes. So now I told you that calculate the wavelength for alpha and beta lines for Lyman series of helium plus. Helium plus means Z equals to 2. Right? Helium plus. And Rydberg constant is given. So now look at this. Here, what is the Rydberg constant? 10, 97, 96, 77. So in this problem, I have given this Rydberg constant, right? But in your examination, this Rydberg constant will be given. So in your examination, whatever Rydberg constant is given, consider that Rydberg constant. Okay? Do not consider those Rydberg constant which you know already. Don't put that. Whatever Rydberg constant value is given, put that one. And finally, if any Rydberg constant value is not given, then whatever value you know regarding Rydberg constant, just put that. Because if you don't use this Rydberg constant, your answer will not be matching with the examination answer. That's why they provide you the Rydberg constant value. Got my point? If you got my point, write GI. Got it. Write GI in the comment box, because this point is very important. I learned these things myself, but I am telling you these things so that like you get to know everything right now, not in the examination hall. Okay, so please be careful regarding that. So now in this case, I have to calculate lambda alpha, I have to calculate lambda beta, and I have given you the value lambda alpha, lambda beta. So this will be your answer. This will be your answer. So in this now at this moment, I will be solving only this lambda alpha, and lambda beta will be your homework. So solve it at your home and check whether you are getting this answer or not, and then send it to the WhatsApp group. Okay, so in the class I will be solving this one first. So lambda alpha means what? So how would I calculate lambda? It's very easy. You know the expression, nu bar equals to 1 by lambda equals to what? R, Rydberg constant, Z square value 1 by Ni square minus 1 by Nf square, and the unit will be in lambda unit. So here it is given everything is in centimeter inverse. So Rydberg constant has value in centimeter inverse. So I am not putting any unit. Unit will generate automatically. Okay. So from here 1 by lambda, I am calculating lambda alpha. So our lambda alpha equals to what? R value you know, 10, 96, 77. Z value you know, for helium plus Z value equals to 2 square. 1 by Ni value you know, for alpha line Ni value is 1 into Nf equals to 2. So 1 square minus 1 by 2 square. And this R value will be in what? Centimeter inverse. That means my lambda value will be in centimeter automatically. So R value is given in centimeter inverse, so I am putting value in centimeter inverse. So your lambda value will be in centimeter. So can you cross check, can you verify that after doing this calculation whether you are getting this lambda value or not? Please do check. What is the lambda value? Because here it is 1 by lambda, but you have to calculate lambda alpha value. So first of all, do this calculation. After doing this calculation, whatever value you are getting, just make it inverse so that you can get lambda alpha value. Can you check whether you are getting this one or not, or what value you are getting? Just tell me. What value you are getting? Just tell me in the comment box. Fatafat. First tell me. Okay, just take 30 seconds and solve this problem. And from the next class, please keep your calculator along with you during these physical chemistry classes. Like whenever I will be practicing, I will be giving you some numericals. Please keep your calculator along with you. Otherwise, like, you will be getting bored. You won't be able to solve numericals. And why I am not doing this calculation? Simple reason. I don't want to do this calculation. I want that you should do this calculation, because you will be appearing in the examination, not me. So you have to solve this. If you are like lazy, then it won't help you, right? So okay, I do it and get same answer. Good job. So you will be getting these answers. So your answer will be, if you do this calculation, you will be getting 303.9 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter. And similarly, just do the same thing for this. Just do the same thing for this one. Do the same thing for this one and send it to the WhatsApp group. Okay, great. Now all these 4 different kinds of numericals I have solved. Now another numerical I want to give you, that came in JAM 2017. Question number 28. If you check previous year question paper, you will be getting question number 28, JAM 2017 question. Okay, and the question was this. So in this question, it is said that ionization energy of hydrogen atom in ground state is 13.6 electron volt, and that's perfect. You know this. For hydrogen atom means Z equals to 1, right? And it is 13.6 electron volt. Let me show you. I have already shown you this thing. Let me show you first. Let me show you the ionization energy. Let me show you the ionization energy. Look at this expression. For one electron system, ionization energy or ionization potential is Z square multiplied by 13.6 electron volt. So for hydrogen atom, Z value equals to what? 1. So 1 square means 1. So only 13.6 electron volt. Yes, great, perfect. They are asking that the energy released in electron volt. So you have to calculate your energy released in electron volt. Now you have seen that in your examination also, question may come in any unit. They can ask you question to, like in electron volt. They can ask you to solve questions in like other unit as well. So the energy released in electron volt for third member of Balmer series. Third member of Balmer series. So first of all, can you tell me what do you mean by third member of Balmer series? Anybody? Let's see. Actually, I have already did these kinds of problems. Which one? This one. First member, second member. So can you tell me what do you mean third member of Balmer series? Third member of Balmer series. Yes, very good, Selvam. Good job. Yes, third member of Balmer series means gamma line. And for gamma line, what will be the corresponding transition? Yes, tell me, Bikram. Selvam, tell me, what will be the corresponding transition for gamma line? Five to two. Very good. So Balmer series means this number 2 will be your destination. So 3 to 2 alpha, 4 to 2 beta, 5 to 2 gamma. Yes. So as 5 to 2 your gamma, so they are asking to calculate the energy released in electron volt for third member of Balmer series means for gamma line. So if this number 5 or orbit is higher energy orbit, number 2 is lower energy orbit, so if electron jumps from here to there, electron will do what? Electron will release some amount of energy, and you have to calculate that how much energy the electron is releasing during this transition. That means from here you are getting Ni equals to 2 and Nf equals to 5. Simple. It's quite simple. Okay. So how would you solve this? It's very simple. So first of all, let me show you that show you the expression that will be required to solve this numerical. This will be your required numerical. This will be your required numerical. Simple. Required expression. Simple. So if you let me copy this expression. Okay. This is my expression, right? And in this expression already this 13.6 electron volt value is given, but which has value 13.6? Because you know what is the value of Ni, you know it is 2, Nf you know 5, you know the value of Z. For what? For hydrogen atom, right? For hydrogen atom Z equals to 1, so you know the value of Z equals to 1. Great. So you are having problem with this part. Yes, because you have to utilize this 13.6 electron volt. How will you do that? So let me go back and show you. Let me go back and show you. So whenever we do energy calculation, I have already shown you that energy expression is this. Your energy expression is this, right? And in this energy expression, this is a constant. It has value of particular, because only variable will be Z and N. Now I did what? I did calculated these hydrogen atoms value for Z equals to 1, N equals to 1. I have calculated E1 value, and what value I got 13.6 electron volt. That means this value I am getting from which part? For Z equals to 1, N equals to 1 means what? Z equals to 1, N equals to 1. This has no significance. That means only this part is giving me 13.6 electron volt. Yes, 13.6 electron volt. So here e to the power 4m 8 epsilon naught square Z square h square. This part has value 13.6 electron volt. Yes, I have shown you already. So I will be utilizing this phenomena. E to the power 4m. So here if you look at this, e to the power 4m 8 epsilon naught h square. If you look at this part would have value same. This part would have value same, right? Now what about the HC? So to understand about this HC, can you remember how this HC is coming over here? Because this HC is coming from here to like there. I am representing my energy in centimeter inverse or meter inverse. I am representing. That's why I am making it 1 by lambda or nu bar. That is called wave number. So now if I send this HC over here once again, like HC divided by lambda equals to e to the power 4m divided by 8 epsilon naught square h square, then z square 1 by ni square minus 1 by nf square. Then what it is? Actually, it is actually nothing but the energy. It is nothing but the energy, right? Because hc by lambda, c by lambda means nu, h nu, h nu. So h nu what? It's the energy. And this energy is not in the centimeter inverse unit. This energy would have joule unit or arc unit or whatever unit I am representing. And you know that this part has value, we already know this part has value 13.6 electron volt. So I can easily put the value equals to 13.6 electron volt. Z value is 1 square, and I can put 1 by Ni means what? 2 square minus 1 by Nf means what? 5 square. Therefore your energy will be what? 13.6 multiplied by 1 by 2 square, that is 1 by 4 minus 1 by 25. 1 by 4 minus 1 by 25 electron volt. So if you do the full calculation, what value you will be getting? What value you will be getting? If you do this calculation, what value you will be getting? Can you tell me? What value? Just tell me, solve this value and tell me, because they ask you to get your value in electron volt. Look at this electron volt, and yes, I have got my value in electron volt. If they ask you calculate the value in centimeter inverse, then you don't need to bring this AC once again back over here. You don't need to bring this AC once again back over here. Just put the value of AC as well. You will be getting your value in centimeter inverse or meter inverse. But they told you to get your value in electron volt. That means I will be putting only this value. So what is the significance of this value? Nothing. I will be multiplying this and I will be making H new. That means E. E means energy. 2.856. 2.856 electron volt. That means option B is your correct option. So it's not too complicated question that you are getting in IIT JAM examination. These questions are too much easier to solve, right? So can you tell me, did you understand this problem? Yes or no? Did you understand this problem? Yes or no? Did you understand this problem? Very good, Vikram. Now this class is done. So in the next class we will be learning what about Sommerfeld atomic model. And what about fine spectrum? Because in the Bohr theory, I told you in the last class that Bohr theory cannot explain the fine spectrum. No, Bohr theory can't explain the fine spectrum. And because of that, Sommerfeld atomic model generally comes. And Sommerfeld will try to explain the fine spectrum. And whenever he will be trying to explain the fine spectrum, he will be getting amazing results. And from those results, I will be showing you how quantum number n, l, m, s, this quantum number generates. Okay, so meet you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.